Hi Charlie, this is Manny Marino with Do Wood Sun out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm going to spend the next few minutes on this YouTube video walking you through the assembly process, talking to you about the stain, the finish, the laser engraving, maintenance, and all that good stuff, but more importantly, how to walk you through how to put this together, because when you get it, it'll come all apart. So first and foremost, thank you so much, Nate, for working with me, finding me on Etsy. A lot of fun to do custom stuff, and then Nate and I went back and forth on the color, design, layout. So again, super fun to work on customized chairs. So first and foremost, let me just kind of talk about the laser engraving. So starting with Charlie's chair, it's all laser engraved. The video or pictures never do laser engraving justice, and you'll see it when you see it firsthand. So it's engraved, and I color fill it. It has my brand and logo, and of course I'm making it for you, Charlie 2020. That goes standard on the front of my chair. The laser engraving, so again, the Costa Farms, all of that is laser engraved with color fill. So it's kind of fun to work with Nate on getting the signatures and just transposing it from paper, the copies that I got, and then putting it on the laser to be lasered out. So it was kind of fun. So you have all your signatures there, and again, color filled. The entire chair is made out of redwood cedar. So the nice thing about cedar is that it repels heat. It can be out in the hot sun, and not ever hot to the touch. It is not only stained, but it's also polyurethane. The back and the front boards are polyurethane, so water, moisture will repel right off. So you don't have to worry about it. You can't see it on the video, but it has a little sheen to it, and that's what the polyurethane does. But again, you could be left outside, get lots of sun. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to Florida, so you don't have to worry about winters. I would just recommend, if it does go to a cold climate state, to either put it away for the winter or cover it so it's not always wet. But I think you'll enjoy the chair. One of the things that I get great feedback on is the pitch of the chair, right? So it's an Adirondack style chair, but it's not very low, and it's a little bit deceiving because it's on a bench, and I'm very close to it. But you'll appreciate the angle and the pitch of the chair. So it gives you a good upright feel, but not low, and tips you back like a typical Adirondack chair. And this is what it looks like, right? As far as like the stains, so I'll kind of talk about that. So I use 3 stains. The first, the base, I call it the base, the legs and the base of the chair. It's called a red mahogany. So it's a dark stain. It colors it really well. You don't really have to stain it that often. It'll stay, dark stains really stick. The rest of the chair, the arms, the seat, and the back is made out of cherry stain. Now, again, as I said before, the front board and the back have that polyurethane, but the arms and the seat don't. So if you wanted that look, it's called this is what it looks like. It's a crystal clear gloss, water-based polyurethane. You could do it over the entire chair. The only thing I recommend, if you're going to do that, is it's like a clear coat. Once it dries, if you don't plan on taking the chair apart, then I recommend doing it, because if you seal, it acts like a sealant too. So if you seal over the torque bit screws, then trying to take it out, it'll kind of, you'll rip up the wood as you're unscrewing it. So just an FYI there. Anyway, and then as I mentioned before, the rest of the chair is made out of cherry stain. So I mean, maybe you could apply it every other year. That's really all it takes. But that's it. So those are the 3 things that you're going to use. And then this is the kind of the profile of the chair, right? Pretty basic, pretty easy. So first, let me just take the back off a minute. Sorry. So I'll first talk about kind of the assembly process, right? So obviously I'm going to take this chair apart, but this is how you're going to start off, right? You're going to build the seat, the base first, right? And here's kind of a demonstration. So start on a flat surface, your 2x6s, and then there's a back brace that goes in between them, right? Now you're not going to see it in the video, but I'll use this as an example. I'll actually mark where that is going to line up. So starting on a flat surface, you start with the Charlie board, you go flush, flat, and everything looking at the chair from right to left is going to be labeled underneath 1 through 7. All right. So because everything is pre-drilled, I would ask you to kind of use the same boards, even though they're all the same size, 24 inches wide. But this is what you're after. This is how you're going to frame up the base first, right? The back is the last thing that goes on. So your seat slat, starting with 1, all the way to number 7, and then 1 through 7, and then by design, where the number 7 ends and your back spacer, the 2x6 spacer, there's like a 1-inch gap. That's where the tail slips in, right? And that's by design. Seat slats, your front legs, you're going to tell right, left. I'll have them labeled underneath. And then lag bolts, you're going to need a 9/16 socket to make things easier. And the sockets always go the lag bolts from outside in. So, and then on the inside are your back legs. You're going to be able to tell which is your back leg because it's got a slant. And then this back support brace is 21 inches, just like this one. And again, look for the labeling right and left. Lag bolts I mentioned outside in. It goes lag bolt, washer, lock nut, 9/16 socket. And then your back brace goes on. One thing I was going to point out about the back brace here is that where, again, you're going to look for the markings, right? We do not want this board to go, all the way to the top, right? Because if you do, you're going to bump up this back arm and it won't be flush. So maybe 1/16 look for the marking. And then there's going to be 12 screws that go onto the back. These are the only small ones that you'll get in the kit, and they're a little bit off color. I think they're a gray, the rest are all brown. Torque bit screws. Just the only word of caution is these are 1 1/4 inch torque bit screws. So just be mindful not to go all the way through because you'll puncture the back of the back, and we don't want that. That's pretty much it. And so you'll, after you do your seats, front legs, back legs, then you're going to throw on your arms. Again, look for the markings right and left. Everything is pre-drilled, so again, just line them up. Just go flush to the top. And then one thing that I'm going to include in the kit are wood plugs, right? So I only put wood. If you don't like the look where it's flush, so you have the coated Torx screw, then screw the screw all the way in as deep as you can. There's sawdust in the bag, and then fill it with a wood plug. Okay, so the 2 front ones get wood plugs, the back does not. And then the other 2 wood plugs are the ones that are going to hold your spacer in between. So there's 2 on each side. Now right now I only have them counter flush because I'm taking this apart, but sink it as deep as you can, fill it with sawdust, and then put a wood plug right after it. That's pretty much it. And then the last thing, once you put your arms in, and before you actually tighten these lag bolts, slip in the back, line it up, right? Again, just eyeball it, and then screw them in. And then the last thing you do is you're going to tighten your wood plug. So that's pretty much it. It's a very basic kind of design. It shouldn't be so bad, but I think just by video you'll be able to see there's only certain parts: the arms, the front legs, the back support brace, the spacer, and that's it. And then your hardware. The hardware I use coated brown Torx screws, right? These are deck screws, right? They're coated, they won't rot, they won't do anything, I promise. They're really good. It's fine hardware. And that's it. So, and then again, because everything is countersunk, just go flush to the top of the board. And that's pretty much, man, how you put this chair together. It's going to come in 2 boxes. All of this stuff will be in 1 box, and the box and the back will come separately. So this is your back. So that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions. If you need help. I think the video is pretty self-explanatory. Just kind of, again, I appreciate the business. Nate, Charlie, thank you. It was a pleasure making this chair. Let me know if you need anything else. I'll throw a couple business cards in there. And again, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much. Have a good day.